demands hardness, but because life itself calls for depth. You see, softness, in the way most men live it, isn't gentleness, it's avoidance. It's the comfort of being liked, rather than the power of being real. A man who has lost his edge becomes like water spilled on sand, spread thin, absorbed, forgotten. You cannot live your life seeking to be harmless. Harmlessness is not virtue. It's fear disguised as peace. You were not born to blend in with the furniture of society. You were born to burn with presence, to be the kind of man whose silence commands more respect than another's noise. But softness kills that fire. It creeps in quietly in small acts of surrender, avoiding confrontation, staying comfortable, always choosing safety over truth. Bit by bit, the man who once carried spirit in his chest becomes a shell filled with excuses. You see, life is not meant to be easy, and yet every man is tempted by the illusion that comfort equals happiness. The world sells softness as the path to peace, but real peace never blooms in comfort. It is born in chaos, shaped in solitude, and tested by pain. A man who never faces struggle never meets himself. You must go to the edges of your limits, the corners of your fear, the shadows of your weakness. Only there can you grow teeth, not to harm, but to stand firm. The soft man is ruled by his emotions, but never masters them. He thinks kindness means submission, and peace means never saying no. But strength does not mean cruelty, and discipline does not mean coldness. True strength is calm because it has faced the storm. It is controlled because it has known chaos. A man who is strong within himself does not need to prove it to the world. His presence is enough. His stillness carries weight. Most men are chasing approval, not purpose. They soften themselves to fit into the expectations of a world that has forgotten what it means to be alive. But approval is a drug. It numbs, not nourishes. The more you need to be liked, the less you are yourself. And soon you are just a reflection of what others want you to be. You must wake up to the truth that no one will come to hand you respect. Respect is not given. It is felt, earned, and embodied in every choice you make. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking your strength so others feel comfortable in their weakness. Stop diluting your truth to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. You must learn to walk alone. The path of a strong man is narrow and often quiet, but it's in that silence that you meet your power. The world may call you cold or distant, but that's because they can't touch the fire you forged inside. There's nothing wrong with being gentle, but gentleness without backbone is collapse. You must learn to be both the sword and the hand that holds it. Be dangerous, but disciplined. Be capable of destruction, but choose creation. A man who cannot fight is not peaceful, he's harmless. But a man who can fight and chooses not to, he is the one who holds true peace. The world needs men who have faced themselves, not men who repeat slogans about love and light, but men who have walked through darkness and still choose compassion. Men who can stand tall when everything collapses, who can hold chaos in their hands without trembling. To become that man, you must strip away every lie that made you soft. Comfort is not your friend. Pleasure is not your guide. The easy path is a slow death. You must fall in love with resistance, with doing what you fear, with saying what you mean, with becoming what you are capable of being. Every time you avoid pain, you trade your power for a moment of relief. But every time you face it, you sharpen your edge. Look around. The world is full of men who have forgotten their weight. Men who smile too easily, agree too quickly, and fear standing alone. They confuse politeness for strength, tolerance for wisdom, submission for peace. They are afraid to offend, and so they never inspire. They are afraid to fail, and so they never rise. The soft man lives a quiet tragedy, alive but never awake. To stop being a soft man is not to become cruel or closed, it's to become whole. To reclaim what you've lost, the raw truth, the primal energy, the sacred discipline of being grounded in your own power. You must face the parts of yourself you've hidden, the anger you've suppressed, the strength you've denied, because in those depths lies your fire. And when you find that fire, let it burn away your timidity. Let it burn away the lies that told you to play small. Let it burn until only the man remains, the one who is not afraid to be honest, not afraid to be strong, not afraid to stand alone. The world doesn't need more soft men. It needs men who are awake, men who are real, men who have faced themselves and still stand with open hearts and unshakable spines. You must understand that softness is not born from love, it is born from fear. The soft man fears disapproval, fears discomfort, fears being misunderstood. He moves through life trying to keep everyone pleased, thinking that harmony comes from surrender. But there is no harmony in pretending. There is no peace in being something you are not. Life itself is not soft. It is fierce, unpredictable, relentless in its demand for authenticity.
I'm doing, hey, what's up, Jay Jordan? I'm doing good, bro. I'm just about to start the meditation. I'm trying to get started exactly at 7 a.m. this time. I'm trying to get that on set. So yeah, that's about it, bro. Hope you had a great workout. Hope you're doing good, bro. And good morning to you. Okay. We're gonna get started here real quick. Okay, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna rewind that a little bit. Okay.
Stop being a soft man. Not because the world demands hardness,
There we
but
go.
because life itself
Okay,
calls for
let's
depth.
get it.
You see, softness in the
Sorry,
way
bro.
most
I'm
men
gonna have to
live
read that
isn't
after the
gentleness, it's
comments.
avoidance.
I mean,
It's the
after I
comfort of
meditate
being
here.
liked rather than the
Yeah.
power of being
I'm
real.
trying to
A
start a
man who has
routine of
lost his edge
just
becomes
starting the
like water,
meditation, getting
not
into
sand,
it,
spread
and
thin
then
across
whatever
a
happens
walkable
happens
floor.
afterwards.
You cannot live your life seeking to be harmless. Harmlessness is not virtue.
Okay,
It's
let's
fear
get it.
disguised as peace. You were not born to blend in with the furniture of society. You were born to burn with presence, to be the kind
Oh,
of
I
man
forgot
whose
my hoodie.
silence commands more respect than
That's
another's
okay. I'll wear
noise.
that next time.
But softness kills that fire. It creeps in quietly in small acts of surrender, avoiding confrontation, staying comfortable, always choosing safety over truth. Bit by bit, the man who once carried spirit in his chest becomes a shell filled with excuses. You see, life is not meant to be easy, and yet every man is tempted by the illusion that comfort equals happiness. The world sells softness as the path to peace, but real peace never blooms in comfort. It is born in chaos, shaped in solitude, and tested by pain. A man who never faces struggle never meets himself. You must go to the edges of your limits, the corners of your fear, the shadows of your weakness. Only there can you grow teeth, not to harm, but to stand firm. The soft man is ruled by his emotions, but never masters them. He thinks kindness means submission, and peace means never saying no. But strength does not mean cruelty, and discipline does not mean coldness. True strength is calm because it has faced the storm. It is controlled because it has known chaos. A man who is strong within himself does not need to prove it to the world. His presence is enough. His stillness carries weight. Most men are chasing approval, not purpose. They soften themselves to fit into the expectations of a world that has forgotten what it means to be alive. But approval is a drug. It numbs, not nourishes. The more you need to be liked, the less you are yourself. And soon you are just a reflection of what others want you to be. You must wake up to the truth that no one will come to hand you respect. Respect is not given. It is felt, earned, and embodied in every choice you make. Stop apologizing for existing. Stop shrinking your strength so others feel comfortable in their weakness. Stop diluting your truth to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. You must learn to walk alone. The path of a strong man is narrow and often quiet, but it's in that silence that you meet your power. The world may call you cold or distant, but that's because they can't touch the fire you've forged inside. There's nothing wrong with being gentle, but gentleness without backbone is collapse. You must learn to be both the sword and the hand that holds it. Be dangerous, but disciplined. Be capable of destruction, but choose creation. A man who cannot fight is not peaceful, he's harmless. But a man who can fight and chooses not to, he is the one who holds true peace. The world needs men who efface themselves, not men who repeat slogans about love and light, but men who have walked through darkness and still choose compassion. Men who can stand tall when everything collapses, who can hold chaos in their hands without trembling. To become that man, you must strip away every lie that made you soft. Comfort is not your friend. Pleasure is not your guide. The easy path is a slow death. You must fall in love with resistance, with doing what you fear, with saying what you mean, with becoming what you are capable of being. Every time you avoid pain, you trade your power for a moment of relief. But every time you face it, you sharpen your edge. Look around. The world is full of men who have forgotten their weight, men who smile too easily, agree too quickly, and fear standing alone. They confuse politeness for strength, tolerance for wisdom, submission for peace. They are afraid to offend, and so they never inspire. They are afraid to fail, and so they never rise. The soft man lives a quiet tragedy, alive but never awake. To stop being a soft man is not to become cruel or closed, it's to become whole. To reclaim what you've lost, the raw truth, the primal energy, the sacred discipline of being grounded in your own power. You must face the parts of yourself you've hidden, the anger you've suppressed, the strength you've denied, because in those depths lies your fire. And when you find that fire, let it burn away your timidity. Let it burn away the lies that told you to play small. Let it burn until only the man remains, the one who is not afraid to be honest, not afraid to be strong, not afraid to stand alone. The world doesn't need more soft men. It needs men who are awake, men who are real, men who have faced themselves and still stand with open hearts and unshakable spines. You must understand that softness is not born from love, it is born from fear. The soft man fears disapproval, fears discomfort, fears being misunderstood. He moves through life trying to keep everyone pleased, thinking that harmony comes from surrender. But there is no harmony in pretending. There is no peace in being something you are not. Life itself is not soft. It is fierce, unpredictable, relentless in its demand for authenticity. If you try to live softly, you will always be in conflict with the raw truth of existence. The man who walks softly through life out of fear never learns to trust himself. He hesitates before he speaks. He doubts before he acts, and he apologizes for simply being. His strength fades, not because he lacks potential, but because he never allows himself to stand in it. You cannot grow in the shadow of your own hesitation. Every time you choose comfort over courage, your spirit grows dull. The light in your eyes dims because the fire within has been neglected. To stop being soft means to stop betraying yourself. You must stop saying yes when your heart screams no. You must stop staying silent when truth demands to be spoken. You must stop waiting for permission to live your own life. There will be no perfect moment, no safe path, no easy awakening. Every step towards strength will cost you something. You might lose approval, friends, security, the false peace of fitting in. But what you gain in return is priceless. You gain yourself. There is a quiet kind of dignity in a man who no longer fears the consequences of being real. When he walks into a room, he doesn't need to assert his power because it moves through him naturally. He doesn't need validation because he has made peace with his solitude. His words carry weight, not because they are loud, but because they are rooted in truth. You feel his presence, not through aggression, but through certainty. The soft man confuses uncertainty with humility, but real humility is strength in disguise. True humility is not weakness. It is knowing your power and choosing not to boast. It's standing tall while understanding that all things are fleeting. But the man who is soft pretends humility while secretly avoiding responsibility. He hides behind excuses like I'm being kind or I don't want to hurt anyone, but the truth is he doesn't want to face conflict. He doesn't want to be judged. He wants to live quietly in the background, unnoticed, unchallenged. Yet deep down he knows something vital is missing. And so he distracts himself with pleasure, with entertainment, with comfort. He builds a life filled with distractions, never realizing that every comfort he chases is another chain around his soul. The mind of a soft man becomes numb. He no longer feels alive because he has traded intensity for security. But life does not bless those who seek safety above all. It blesses those who are willing to risk their false selves for the sake of truth. To stop being soft, you must become dangerous, not to others, but to the illusions that keep you asleep. The dangerous man is awake. He sees through lies. He refuses to kneel before false gods, status, approval, or pleasure. His danger is not in violence, but in clarity. You cannot manipulate a man who has mastered himself. You cannot control him with fear because he has faced fear and come out stronger. That is true danger, to be ungoverned by anything outside yourself. Most men live as prisoners of their own minds. They are ruled by habits they never chose, beliefs they never questioned, and fears they never confronted. They smile and nod, thinking they are being good men. But goodness without backbone is emptiness. You must have the courage to examine your own weakness, to look at the parts of you that are lazy, fearful, dependent, or small-minded. Do not run from them. Meet them face to face. Because once you face them, they lose their control. Pain is not your enemy. Discomfort is not your enemy. Weakness only grows when you refuse to confront it. Every challenge you face is a mirror showing you who you are and who you could be. The man who refuses challenge refuses his own evolution. The man who avoids pain avoids wisdom. It is in your darkest hours that your power is born. You cannot build muscle without resistance. You cannot build spirit without suffering. If you wish to be strong, you must stop asking for lift. E to be easy. You must welcome the struggle, for it is shaping you. You must stand still in your storms, breathe deeply, and know that the fire is not burning you, it is refining you. Every test is a chance to rise. Every setback is an opportunity to sharpen your will. Every loss is an invitation to let go of false attachments and step closer to truth. The soft man is always waiting for motivation, waiting for opportunity, waiting for someone to guide him. But waiting is the slow death of purpose. No one will come to rescue you. No one will tell you when it's time. Life has already given you everything you need. The only question is whether you will use it or not. The moment you decide to stop waiting is the moment your life begins. Discipline is the art of choosing what matters over what feels good. The soft man chooses pleasure, while the strong man chooses purpose. The soft man seeks comfort, while the strong man seeks clarity. You must train yourself to act despite emotion, to move.
Your new Dell PC with Intel Core Ultra helps you handle a lot when your holiday to-dos get to be a lot. Luckily, the Dell PC helps you get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside. Get yours at dell.ca/holiday.
Move forward when you'd rather rest, to speak when silence is easy. The man who can command himself needs no master. Self-discipline is freedom disguised as restraint. And understand this, softness is not about the body, it is about the mind. A man may appear powerful on the outside, yet remain soft within, afraid of rejection, afraid of solitude, afraid of his own potential. You can lift weights, wear confidence, and still be ruled by fear. Real strength begins in silence, in your ability to face your own mind without distraction. The man who can sit alone with his thoughts without reaching for escape is the man who has conquered himself. The reason most men remain soft is that they fear being misunderstood. They fear standing out. But if you spend your life blending in, you'll never know who you are. You must risk being misunderstood to be true. You must risk being disliked to be real. It is better to be hated for what you are than loved for what you are not. Strength demands authenticity. You must learn to love solitude, not as an escape, but as a forge. Solitude burns away illusion and reveals what remains. When you walk alone, you meet your soul. When you sit in silence, you hear your truth. Do not run from loneliness. It is the door through which power enters. The soft man avoids solitude because it reminds him of his emptiness. but the strong man embraces it because he knows it fills him with meaning. There is something noble about a man who is unmoved by the noise of the world. He listens, but he is not swayed. He feels deeply, but he is not consumed. He walks quietly, yet his steps leave thunder. Such a man has faced the chaos within and emerged calm. He does not chase attention because he does not need it. His strength is inward, not borrowed from applause. The soft man craves comfort from others because he has not found it within himself. He constantly needs reassurance, validation, affection. But dependence is not love, it is bondage. You cannot truly love if you are afraid of being alone. Real love flows from strength, not need. It comes from fullness, not emptiness. To stop being soft is to stop seeking love as rescue and start offering it as power. You must also stop running from your masculine nature. Modern life teaches men to tame themselves, to dull their instincts, to bury their aggression, to hide their drive. But your masculine energy is sacred. It is not something to suppress, it is something to master. It is the force that builds, protects, and transforms. Without it, you drift aimlessly, lost in confusion. When you reclaim your masculine energy, you stand tall, not to dominate, but to create order in chaos. Aggression becomes wisdom when it is guided by purpose. Desire becomes strength when it is tempered by discipline. Power becomes peace when it is rooted in understanding. That is the balance every man must find, to be both fierce and gentle, wild and wise, dangerous and kind. You are not meant to be tamed. You are meant to be transformed. If you truly want to stop being soft, you must practice what you fear. Speak your truth when your voice shakes. Take the path that scares you. Do what is difficult every single day until it becomes natural. The man who lives in fear dies many times before his death. But the man who faces fear lives fully, even if only for a moment. Every morning you wake up, you are faced with a choice: to live as the man you are, or to remain as the boy who fears becoming him. Each day is an invitation to rise, to sharpen your will, to honor your soul. No one can do it for you. No one can carry you across that threshold. You must walk it alone. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Failure will humble you. Let it. Each wound is a teacher, each loss a lesson. Stop asking for ease, ask for resilience. Stop asking for approval, ask for truth. Stop asking for comfort, ask for courage. Softness is forgetting that you were made for challenge. Strength is remembering that even in your pain there is purpose. You must train your mind to love the process, not the outcome. To find satisfaction in effort, not applause. When you can find meaning in the struggle itself, no hardship can break you. And understand, the world does not reward potential. It rewards action. You can have every gift, every talent, every intention, and still remain ordinary if you never act. Do not wait to feel ready. Readiness is a lie the mind tells to keep you soft. You are ready the moment you decide to be. When you stop being soft, you stop needing life to be fair. You stop expecting others to understand. You stop living for comfort and start living for growth. You become a man who can be relied upon, a man who stands firm in chaos, a man who is free. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. It is mastery over yourself. There is a power that awakens in a man when he finally decides to stop running from responsibility. To carry weight is sacred. To endure pressure is holy. Life will not hand you meaning. You must create it. You must choose to bear the burden of purpose, and in that burden you will find joy. Every man must face this moment, the moment he looks into the mirror and realizes that softness has stolen his fire. And in that moment he must choose to continue pretending or to rise, to keep hiding or to begin becoming. The choice is yours, and it is made not once, but every day, in every decision, in every breath. You must stop being soft, not because the world says so, but because your soul demands it. Because deep within, you know that you were born for more than comfort. You were born for truth, for depth, for strength, for freedom. And that freedom will never come to the soft man. It belongs only to the one who dares to stand in his power and live it fully. Every man reaches a point when he must look honestly at what he has become. There is a moment when silence becomes unbearable, when the weight of unfulfilled potential begins to crush the heart. You can feel it in the pit of your stomach, that quiet discomfort that whispers, "You are not who you were meant to be." That voice is not your enemy. It is the truth knocking on the door of your soul. The soft man avoids that voice. He drowns it out with distractions, with noise, with endless comfort. But the one who chooses to listen, the one who lets that voice cut through him, that man begins to awaken. To stop being soft is not to abandon compassion. It is to stop using it as a disguise for weakness. Many men mistake tolerance for wisdom, indecision for patience, avoidance for peace. But PE, ACE, is not born from avoidance. It is born from confrontation, the confrontation of truth, of responsibility, of one's own chaos. You cannot live fully until you have faced yourself completely. And that is precisely what softness fears, the raw, unfiltered reality of your own reflection. The man who is soft hides behind excuses. He tells himself that the world has changed, that aggression is toxic, that ambition is selfish. He speaks the language of surrender and calls it virtue. But deep inside, he knows the truth. He knows he has traded strength for safety, depth for comfort, purpose for approval, and the worst prison of all is the one you decorate with good intentions. The soft man decorates his prison with comfort, and then wonders why he feels empty. Life was never meant to be comfortable. You are not here to drift peacefully through existence. You are here to be tested, to be shaped, to discover who you are through struggle. When a man stops seeking challenge, he stops growing. When he stops growing, he begins to decay. Softness is spiritual decay disguised as politeness. The world does not need polite men. It needs men who have the courage to be authentic, even when authenticity offends. Every moment you choose comfort over courage, a part of your soul withers. You begin to lose the spark that once made you alive. The man who avoids difficulty becomes bitter because he knows he is betraying himself. Bitterness is the taste of unused potential. It is the echo of power left dormant. To awaken again, you must willingly enter the discomfort you have avoided. You must walk into the cold, into the silence, into the unknown. There, in that lonely space, something begins to stir, a wild, ancient strength that has been waiting for your return. Softness is a disease of the spirit. It comes from overprotection, from too much pleasure, from too much fear of pain. The body, G, grows weak when it is never challenged, and the soul weakens in the same way. You must expose yourself to difficulty to grow resilient. You must willingly walk through the fire to remember you are flame. The soft man fears fire, but the strong man understands it is his teacher. There is an art to being strong and still remaining kind. Strength without love becomes tyranny. Love without strength becomes helplessness. The balance between the two is the essence of maturity. You cannot truly be gentle until you have first learned to be powerful. The man who cannot fight cannot forgive, because forgiveness requires strength. The man who cannot stand alone cannot love, because love requires freedom. The soft man tries to be kind without first being strong, and that is why his kindness means nothing. It is not chosen. It is born of fear. A strong man does not seek to dominate others. He seeks to master himself. His battle is inward. He faces his desires, his anger, his impulses, and he learns to command them. A man who cannot control himself will always be controlled by something, his lust, his ego, his need to be seen. But when a man learns discipline, when he learns silence, when he learns to move without the approval of the crowd, he becomes free. Freedom is not found in rebellion, it is found in mastery. The soft man cannot sit in silence because he has not made peace with his own company. He must always be entertained, stimulated, validated. Silence confronts him with his own emptiness, and so he avoids it. But in silence, a man discovers the voice of his soul. He learns to separate what is real from what is false. He learns to listen to intuition instead of noise. Silence is the forge of strength. for only in silence can you hear what life is truly asking of you. The man who has stopped being soft no longer asks, "What do others think of me?" He asks instead, "What do I think of myself when I am alone?" That is the question that burns through illusion. You cannot hide from yourself in that moment. You cannot lie, because your soul knows the truth. You either respect the man you have become, or you do not. Respect is not built through comfort. It is built through consistency, through showing up, through keeping your word when no one is watching. The soft man quits easily. He gives up when things hurt, when they take too long, when no one praises him. But life does not reward those who dabble. It rewards those who endure. You must learn to persist when your emotions scream for rest. You must learn to push through boredom, through pain, through rejection. Strength is not about being unshaken, it's about being unbroken. You can feel pain without surrendering to it. You can feel fear without obeying it. You must also learn to suffer well. Every man will suffer. It is not optional, but suffering with purpose transforms you. Suffering without purpose destroys you. The soft man suffers needlessly because he runs from discipline, and life disciplines him instead. The strong man disciplines himself and transforms suffering into growth. When you take responsibility for your suffering, it becomes sacred. Discipline is love for your future self. It is saying no to weakness so you can say yes to greatness. The soft man sees discipline as punishment, but the wise man sees it as liberation. Every time you control an impulse, you build trust with yourself. Every time you resist comfort, you strengthen your will. And the man with a strong will cannot be enslaved by society, by fear, by desire. A man who has stopped being soft does not need to announce it. His energy speaks for him. You can see it in the way he moves, in his calmness, his patience, his focus. He doesn't react to everything because he doesn't need to. His power is internal. He is no T at war with the world because he has already won the war within. Such a man carries peace like armor. His stillness is not emptiness, it is contained power. To reach that level of strength, you must learn to let go. Let go of the need to please. Let go of the need to be understood. Let go of the fantasies that life will be fair. Let go of the idea that people owe you something. You owe the world only one thing, to become who you were meant to be. Everything else is noise. When you stop being soft, you stop blaming. You no longer waste energy resenting others for what they have or what they did. You begin to see that life gives you exactly what you earn. Every setback becomes a message, grow stronger. Every betrayal becomes a reminder, stand alone. Every failure becomes a teacher whispering, keep moving. Strength is not born in victory, it is born in defeat. It is in the moments when you are stripped bare that you meet your truth. When there is nothing left to prove and nothing left to hide, you see the core of your being. That core is unbreakable. No circumstance can touch it. No loss can erase it. The soft man never finds it because he never digs deep enough. The man who has found his core becomes grounded. He no longer chases fleeting pleasures because he knows who he is. He no longer needs to impress anyone because he carries certainty within. When others crumble under pressure, he remains steady. Not because he is cold, but because he has learned that storms are temporary and truth endures. You must understand that the world will test you. It will strip away everything false, everything weak, everything unearned. This is not cruelty, it is mercy. Life is sculpting you into what you are meant to be. The soft man resists the sculptor's chisel and remains unshaped. The strong man embraces it, knowing that the pain of transformation is the price of greatness. When you stop being soft, you no longer need to chase power, because you are power. You no longer need to chase meaning because you live meaning. You no longer need to prove your worth because you embody it. You begin to move differently. You speak with clarity. You love without attachment. You work without the need for recognition. You become free, not because the world has changed, but because you have. You must train yourself daily to stand in truth. Every time you tell a lie, every time you betray your own values, every time you give in to weakness, you dull your spirit. Integrity is the backbone of strength. Without it, you are hollow. To live with integrity is to live in alignment, to speak what you believe, to act on what you speak, to become what you act upon. The world bends to those who live in alignment because they are unshakable. You will not always feel strong. There will be days when doubt returns, when your mind whispers old lies. That is natural. But remember, feelings are weather, not identity. Do not let them define you. Stand firm even when you feel uncertain. Each time you do, you weaken the grip of fear. Strength is built in those small, invisible victories, the moments no one sees, when you choose courage over comfort. Eventually something beautiful happens. You stop needing to prove your strength, and you simply live it. You stop trying to be powerful, and you simply are. Your life becomes a reflection of mastery, quiet, steady, focused. And that is when you understand that power was never about dominance. It was always about presence, the deep, unmovable presence of a man who has stopped being soft and has finally come home to himself. There comes a time when every man must confront the truth that softness was never about kindness. It was about fear, fear of pain, fear of rejection, fear of standing alone. For too long you have been taught to dull your edges, to smooth your anger, to suppress your wildness. You were told that your power was dangerous, that to be good you must be small. But when you make yourself small enough to please others, you begin to disappear. And a life spent hiding from yourself is no life at all. The world does not need more agreeable men. It needs men who have found their center. Men who can be calm in the midst of chaos, who can speak truth even when it burns, who can stand when everything else collapses. A man who is soft waits for the world to be gentle before he acts. The man who is strong learns to remain gentle even when the world is not. That is the difference. To stop being soft means to stop seeking peace at the expense of truth. You can't live your life avoiding friction. Growth is friction, learning is friction, integrity is friction. You cannot polish a blade without resistance, and you cannot sharpen your soul without tension. Every time you choose the easy way, you become dull. Every time you embrace difficulty, you carve yourself closer to who you were meant to be. You were not created to be comfortable. You were created to evolve. Comfort is not happiness, it's sedation. It numbs you just enough to keep you from questioning why you are so empty. The soft man mistakes numbness for peace. He thinks that avoiding pain means he is wise. But wisdom is not found in avoidance, it is found in participation. You must participate in life, fully and fiercely, even when it breaks your heart. That is how you grow depth. That is how you earn strength. To stop being soft is to reclaim your authority over your own life. You must take ownership of everything, your past, your failures, your wounds, your choices. As long as you keep blaming circumstances or society or luck, you remain powerless. Power begins with responsibility. The moment you say, I am responsible for M, life, you reclaim control. And in that control, you rediscover your freedom. The soft man always looks outward for permission. He waits for someone to tell him it's time, someone to validate his worth, someone to give him direction. But no one is coming. The world is not obligated to hand you your purpose. You must take it. You must decide who you are, what you stand for, and then move relentlessly toward it. That decision, once made, will terrify you. It should, because it means the death of the old, soft version of yourself, the man who settled, who delayed, who hoped someone else would lead him. Do not mistake comfort for safety. The safest life is often the most dangerous because it slowly kills your spirit. You were meant to struggle, to sweat, to strive. The soul grows only in pressure. Without the weight of responsibility, a man loses form. He drifts. That's why so many men today feel hollow. They've been protected from the very experiences that would have made them whole. If you want to find meaning, you must step into the load, carry something heavy, commit to something that demands more of you than you think you can give. Only then will you discover who you are. A soft man confuses emotion with truth. He lets every feeling dictate his direction. But emotions are like the wind. They change. They are not meant to guide you. They are meant to reveal you. Feel them, but do not follow them blindly. Discipline must lead emotion, not the other way around. A man who is ruled by emotion is unpredictable and weak. A man who commands his emotion is dangerous in the most beautiful way. He moves with purpose, not impulse. You must learn to be uncomfortable with yourself. Sit in silence. Face your mistakes. Admit your lies. Most men cannot do this because silence exposes the truth they've been running from. But until you face yourself, you will keep making yes, aiming mistakes, dressing them up with different faces, different jobs, different distractions. Sit still. Let the discomfort burn through you. That burning is transformation. The path of strength is not loud, it is not glamorous, it is found in quiet decisions, in moments when no one is watching, in nights where you wrestle with yourself and still choose the harder road. The world celebrates results, but true strength is built in obscurity. You must learn to love the unseen work, the early mornings, the discipline, the repetition, the solitude. That is where character is born. Softness thrives in distraction. It feeds on instant gratification. The strong man learns to delay it. He understands that fulfillment is not in the momentary high, but in long-term alignment. Every indulgence has a cost. Every pleasure has a shadow. When you can see the shadow and still act with awareness, you are no longer soft, you are conscious. A conscious man is not a slave to his desires. He uses them as energy, not as chains. The soft man wants to be liked. The strong man wants to be real. The soft man shapes himself to fit others' expectations. The strong man builds himself according to his own values. You must choose. If you live to be liked, you will forever compromise your truth. The price of authenticity is misunderstanding, but the reward is freedom. Not everyone will understand your path, but it is not their path to understand. You must also learn to walk alone. Most men fear solitude because they have never known who they are without others. But solitude is the soil of power. It teaches you to rely on your own mind, to hear your own intuition, to find peace within your own silence. When you can walk alone without loneliness, you have transcended dependence. You become self-contained, sovereign. And from that sovereignty comes clarity. The soft man avoids conflict, both with other, ours, and within himself. But without conflict, there is no clarity. You must learn to argue with yourself, to challenge your own beliefs, to dismantle your illusions. Growth is uncomfortable because it demands honesty. You must question everything you were taught about success, love, strength, and happiness. You must unlearn what makes you small. To stop being soft is to learn the language of reality. Life does not care about your excuses. It does not bend to your feelings. It responds only to action. Every day, you are either strengthening or weakening yourself by the choices you make. Every moment you choose ease over effort, you reinforce weakness. Every moment you do what must be done, even when you don't want to, you reinforce strength. Over time, those choices define your destiny. Do not confuse hardness with strength. A hard man is brittle, angry, defensive, fragile beneath his armor. A strong man is flexible, patient, enduring. He does not break under pressure, he bends and rises again. You do not need to be hard, you need to be grounded. Grounded in your purpose, grounded in your truth. Grounded in the unshakable knowing that no matter what comes, you will not retreat into softness. Pain is not your enemy, it is your guide. The moments that hurt the most are often the ones that reveal your power. Stop running from pain. Run toward it with awareness. Let it teach you. Let it carve you open so something new can grow. The soft man runs from pain and spends his life haunted by the ghosts of what he avoided. The strong man faces pain and finds peace in his scars. Every time you choose discipline over indulgence, truth over approval, silence over noise, you reclaim a piece of yourself. The process is not fast. Strength is not built in a day, it is built in repetition. You must fall, rise, fall again, and rise again until it becomes natural. That repetition is sacred. It is how the universe tests your resolve. Do not be seduced by the illusion of constant positivity. Growth is not supposed to feel good all the time. Sometimes it feels like loss, like confusion, like emptiness. But that emptiness is space being made for something greater. Let it be. The soft man cannot handle discomfort. He fills it immediately with distraction, food, sex, noise. The strong man sits with it. He watches it. And in time it becomes wisdom. You must also learn to forgive yourself. Strength is not perfection. It is endurance. You will stumble, you will regress, you will make mistakes. What matters is that you keep moving. Shame keeps you soft because it traps you in self-pity. Forgiveness frees you to grow again. Hold yourself accountable, yes, but never hold yourself hostage. The man who has stopped being soft carries himself differently. His presence feels steady, not forced. His eyes are calm, not dull. His words are few, but they cut deep. He does not need to assert dominance because he has nothing to prove. He lives by principle, not impulse. His life becomes his message. People feel his energy before he speaks, and they sense something rare, a man who has mastered himself. The transformation is not about becoming cold, it's about becoming clear. You do not lose your heart when you stop being soft. You finally learn how to use it. Love becomes deeper, not weaker. Compassion becomes wiser, not naive. Strength does not kill emotion, it gives it direction. The world misunderstands this balance because it fears true maturity. But once you embody it, you no longer need the world's understanding. There will be times when you are misunderstood, mocked, even hated for walking this path. That is the price of being awake in a world that worships comfort. Do not retreat. Walk on. The path will narrow, but your vision will widen. The noise will fade, but why? Our inner voice will grow louder. And one day you will wake and realize that the boy who once feared everything has become the man who needs nothing but truth. That is the end of softness. Not the loss of gentleness, but the birth of power. It is not about domination or control. It is about presence, mastery, and depth. You stop chasing and start embodying. You stop begging life for meaning and start creating it with your bare hands. You look in the mirror and see not the man society shaped, but the man you forged through your own fire. And when that moment comes, when you finally realize that softness was never safety, it was the slow death of your spirit, you will thank the pain that woke you up. You will bless the nights you spent alone. You will honor the storms. Because only then will you understand that to stop being soft is not to become someone new. It is to return to who you were before the world taught you to hide. So in the end, this is what it comes down to. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you strength. And no one can walk this path for you. The world will try to soften you, tame you, convince you that your fire is too much and your silence too cold. But you must remember, you were not born to be harmless. You were born to be whole. You were born to carry weight, to protect, to build, to stand unbroken when everything else falls apart. The man who has faced himself fears nothing, because he understands that every battle was only ever a mirror. You are that mirror. You are the storm and the calm after it. So Ryan,
Okay. Jay Jordan says, have a great meditation. Thank you so much, bro. You have a great workout and continue to have a great workout whenever you do so, bro. It's always great to watch your channel. You're always uplifting and you're very fun to watch, honestly. So thank you for that. Thank you for keeping high spirits. Same with all the other places that I subscribe to. They're very good. Keeping you up in spirits. Like making you happy kind of things, giving you the advice that you need, even though it may not be advice that you want to hear. Good. And that is it for today. Thank you everyone for if you showed up or popped by. It's been a great meditation. And we'll see you on up until day 90. So take care of yourself. Um, good morning and peace. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. Another